So I have more questions about your leadership.
Okay.
But before I ask that, I need to ask you this question. If you could summarize the two greatest things Faith Care has achieved under your watch, what would you say those two things are?
One I mentioned earlier is really developing our Nigerian chapter, that really encouraging them to see their full potential. The other would be really coming back to Hartford. We were in Farmington when I arrived, and really understanding the community and the need that was here in Hartford before they left, and it still existed. I really had, one of my goals was to come back to Hartford, to really serve the community that I grew up in and understand the need, both medically, financially, economically, that was going on in our community, to bring the service that Faith Care offers. Because I think, the medical piece is one of my board of directors said, the mission trip is the sexy piece of what we do and the medical, but I think the spiritual piece is so vital, that we see and we meet people, come into contact with people that may not understand the full medical care system, and they may not understand the diagnosis that they're getting. They may not understand or like their doctor, but if you can share with them the hope that Jesus brings, and that they have the power. They may not have money, but they have prayer, and prayer could change things in their life. And so they may not be able to get to the doctor, but if we can teach them that they can pray about a situation and see God move in their life, that's just powerful.
Okay. So you said developing the Nigeria chapter, and you said moving back to Hartford. What I heard you say was you developed and experienced international growth. And I also heard you say you found or reconnected with your base of support. And I also heard you say knowing your core customer locally.
Yeah.
All right. So that was my translation. Now, the reason I asked that question in terms of the two things, in my case, three things that I heard you say that you achieved under your watch, the question is, what leadership strategies did you deploy to get to that point, to get Faith Care to that point? Because there are people going to be watching this. They're going to check out your website. Some people are going to be watching this. They already know you, and they may not know what you've had to do to really grow Faith Care or position Faith Care to grow internationally, secure your base of support, and reconnect or connect deeper with your customer base. So what leadership strategies did you have to deploy to get to that point?
I said it earlier, but listening. Just to listen to our stakeholders, my board, the community, our funders, just to hear what they are saying and what their dreams and goals are. Because I think for fundraising or anything that we do as leaders, it's not about toting our vision and our dream. It's really coming alongside others and let them know that I want to fulfill your dream, and that my organization will help you fulfill that dream that you have of helping a homeless child or providing medical care for the less fortunate. So you have something that I need, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to fulfill your dream and your vision. And then the other one is vision casting. And so just really understanding what the need of the community is and what gifts and talents I bring to the table, and how I can again, Habakkuk tells us to write the vision and make it clear. So how can I articulate the vision that I have for the organization that other people could get excited about it and to come on board? I do photography. I spoke about the sports piece, but also with photography, you'd be amazed how, we gravitate to a photo. It'd be a group photo, but you want to find yourself in there. It's like, oh, man, our class reunion was like 20, 30 years ago, but you remember where you were standing when that photo was taken. And the first thing you do is that you want to find yourself in that photo. So when I cast a vision, I'm trying to cast put a picture that someone could see themselves in that photo, and they get excited about it.
I don't know if we as leaders do a good job listening.
No.
I mean, because
my wife could answer that one.
So good mine. All right. I don't know if leaders do a good job listening, and it's something that I'm observing about my own leadership that I want to get better at. Being in the moment enough to listen to my team, listen to my customers, listen to my partners. I think that the calling of the business and what's going around the business can be so demanding
Yep.
that I know for me, allowing myself to be distracted by the business takes me away from the moment when people are sharing quality information with me, and the opportunity to listen is lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think the trip, like I really, really love going on a mission trip, and something that's going to shock you. The organization been around. I said we're going to our 25th year. I was the first director that ever been on an international mission trip.
That does shock me.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does, but it does.
So for me, it was like, how can I tell the story? How can I share what's going on within the organization if I'm not going on these mission trips? I don't have to go every single year, but because I love this so much and I've connected with people, our Nigerian chapter, the teams that's in Haiti and in Jamaica, I want to go back because now I've developed a personal relationship with them. So it's more than just a mission trip. It's more than just, the administrative piece of it. It's about relationship. It's about building, trust and building up a partnership with them. And so it's great. But the thing about that is that I get to hear what's going on and I get to observe. So a couple years ago we were in Nigeria and the spiritual counseling, we went back at the end of the day, we do our debrief and everything, and so the numbers there was very low. So we saw probably 800 people that particular day, between 800 and 1,000. And so the spiritual counselor was like, oh, we only saw 50 people. And so they were like, okay, what's going on? So the next day I went down to observe how things were going, their workflow. And so just made a couple of suggestions as far as how the traffic was getting to the spiritual counseling department. And their numbers were comparable to the actual number of people that we're seeing just by making that one change. But if I wasn't there, if I wasn't observing, if I wasn't listening to what the team was saying, because everybody was so busy, we didn't have a free hand. So I just switched my role for the following day. So I was down in that area. And so just by, again, managing by, walking and being mobile and going to see the different departments and hearing what's going on, you can be more effective and, give insight. Again, that person from the outside looking in just to see the bigger picture and how things were flowing that day. And so, again, I really encourage just to listen to your team, just to, hear what's going on, not just from your team, but the customers, giving feedback. Just so I highly recommend just to listen to your team and to spend some time with them, just to live in their world, to see what's going on.
That means a lot. And then also you mentioned coming alongside people, which ultimately is just another word of partnership, but literally, the coming alongside process says, I see the direction you're running in, and I'm going to run not in competition with you,
but alongside,
but parallel with you. I'm neither the next leg of the race or the previous leg of the race. I'm a parallel mirror to the race you're running. And if I can help you on that race by you leaning on me to recover your energy, or for me to transfer resources while we're running the same race and cross the finish line together, then that's my role. So in my work, coming alongside other businesses and other leaders is highly valued. I highly value that. The people I interact with highly value that. How has that played itself out, in Faith Care, where you've made the conscious decision to come alongside churches, individuals, medical doctors, leaders of other countries? I mean, how has that played itself out?
Yeah, again, you have to realize that I'm not in competition with you.
Yeah.
We're both running the same direction, like you said, and we both want to get across that finish line together. So by just being transparent, just letting them know up front, this is what we're trying to do. If you agree with it, if you have the same mindset, same vision, same philosophy, we welcome that.
Yeah.
And we want your support. We want your, your ideas and your thought. And again, support for me is not just financial. they may give me some advice. Oh no, don't buy that land because it's a lot of things going on. And again, I have to trust my team, my international coordinator, because I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Haitian. I'm not there on a 24/7, and so I really have to trust them and believe in what the feedback and the information that they're providing for me, and that we are on the same team. That we want the same end goal. That we want our community to be healthy and to thrive and to be successful. Every kid, shouldn't have to have dirty water and have diseases that we could cure, and so as long as they understand where I'm coming from and again see the vision that I'm casting, that it hasn't been a problem and it's been beneficial for both parties. That we're getting volunteers and we getting resources to come into your community. When we build a hospital or clinic, that's economical driver for that community, that we're going to be hiring carpenters and constructors and builders, and that we're going to employ nurses and doctors, and so it's not just doing the medical trip. It's about impacting that entire community, one community at a time. And one of the things I love about the Nigerian chapter and what they're doing, it's going to free me up to go someplace else and to pour into another community, because now they're at a place where they're doing their own community outreach, that they're serving over 2,000, 3,000 people on their own. So think about that I don't have to bring a team of 20 or 15 people trying to coordinate their trip, collecting trip fees and people leaving their family and safety issues and all. So my team in Nigeria, they can do all that. So look at the financial and economic impact just by developing that team, now that they can do their own medical outreach.
Everybody knows that casting vision has this obviously lasting positive impact. What's the challenge with casting vision?
People don't catch it, that they don't see it, because they haven't received what God has given you, and so you just have to keep plugging along. That even just one or two catch that vision. I think one of the people I admire and I try to model my leadership style is Nehemiah. And so one of the things that Nehemiah was able to do is really capitalize on momentum. And so if just a remnant, a small group of people really caught on to what he was trying to do to rebuild the city, again, a sports fan, everyone wants to be on a winning team. Everyone want to be victorious. And so if you just have some small accomplishment and make a big deal about it, publicize it, put on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and let people, again, see what's going on, they want to be in that picture. They want to be part of that winning team. So just showing, for us, what's happening in Nigeria, purchasing the land, and we're talking about building, starting construction. So along each phase, we want to report back out and let people know that there is something happening. And so that, they want to get behind that. They want to get behind something that's moving. It's not stagnant.